David, you and I had talked before about your concerns that there is someone, an individual in the Kremlin that is standing in the way of bringing your brother home and other Americans who are being detained. It did stand out to me that the president said there are illegitimate reasons that Paul's case is being treated differently than Brittney's case. Help us read between the lines there. What does that mean to you when you hear that?
Well, I'll have to read the same between the lines. My guess is that it's because Paul has been classified as a spy. And from the very start, he was falsely entrapped. He was sent through a kangaroo court and just a completely bogus investigation, and then came out the other side. And so from the Russian perspective, they have labeled him that. It would be hard for them to say, well, he's not really a spy, and so it's not that serious a case. And so they will continue to do that. And I think, unfortunately for Paul, in the past, when there have been spy cases, both sides would then exchange real spies that both sides' intelligence communities would claim for their own. In this case, you have a tourist who isn't a spy. And so it's a matter then of the American government, I guess, trying to find some equivalency. I don't know if that means that they have to find a Russian spy to trade or what, but it makes it very difficult because it's not clear now what the parity is that the Kremlin always looks for.
David, I know that your brother Paul talks to your parents frequently. There was that concern when he was sent to the hospital that they had lost communication with him. Do you know, is he aware that Brittney is on her way home?
Yes, the U.S. Embassy was able to make a phone call to Paul and to let him know that someone from the White House or someone from the U.S. government spoke to him and let him know what was happening, and I think gave him some of the information around why, to the extent that you can on a Russian prison phone line. So it's good. I mean, I think it's a good positive change in that he's not learning this from Russian TV. He's not learning it from our parents. That the U.S. government is stepping forward and taking responsibility for their citizen and for communicating this information to their citizen.
And you have to believe it gives him hope that he will also come home soon and be part of a swap. What has he shared with your parents about his optimism for coming home?
Well, I haven't spoken to my parents today, so I don't know how he has reacted. He, up until recently, has been very positive. I think he was much more certain that things were going to happen that would bring him home, and he had been thinking about, well, where will I live when I get back? I am not sure that he will be as hopeful today. And if he's like me, I have very little hope. You always have some hope because you hope that that the positive thing will happen, that Paul will come free. But I don't see how it will happen. I don't see what the U.S. tools are for it, and I think Paul will have the same assessment in Russia.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.